Hi, welcome to Kia's Kitchen. Tonight I'm going to show you how I do water kefir. This is everything you need to get going. So I've got a big vessel, big wide mouth vessel for my primary ferment. I've got some organic raw sugar, some molasses, some bicarb soda, wooden spoon, nylon sieve and a funnel. I've got some clean bottles that I'm going to put my kefir into with some caps. And then I've got some fruit to put in for the secondary ferment. So I'm missing one thing, and that's the kefir from the last batch. So I'll grab that out. Keep it in here, in the dark. And at the moment, because it's getting a bit cooler in Brisbane, I'm doing it every second night. But in summer, I do it every night. So this is a primary ferment from 2 nights ago, which is just grains in the sugar water mixture with that stuff, and this is the secondary ferment, so that's the water taken out of there, put in there with fruit and then capped and then put in the fridge for 2 days. So now this is ready to go, put in the cupboard for 2 days, sorry. So now this is ready to go in the fridge. So this one's green apple and lemon, which is really lovely. So I'll just pop them in the fridge, and you'll see I've got a little bit of a supply here. This is the flavour I'm making tonight, which is blueberries, lemon and ginger. Alright, so we'll get back to this primary ferment first. So I've just fastened it with a bit of string or elastic band. It's just a piece of unbleached calico that it can breathe through. So the first thing I want to do, you can have a bit of a close look if you like. See the grains in there? They're quite big. So they're like a little water crystal. Alright, so, and this is going to have a bit of fizz in it, so I'm going to pour quite slowly. Just upsized because I've just started doing every second day my vessels and my bottles, so I've got a little bit extra there. So let's pour it off into here. Because when I was doing it every day, I was doing half as much at a time. So there's a nice pile of grains. And I'm going to split some of them tonight because I'm going to send them to a friend. I'll just grab something to put them in. So I'm going to put them in a little jar with some water and wrap them up a lot, and hopefully they get there safe enough for her. So that's about just over a tablespoon. That's heaps for her to get started. Okay, so if you're just starting out, you won't have that. All you'll have is this and some grains, either in a packet or in a jar from a friend with a little bit of water. So what you do then, you just take your grains. Actually, I'll just put this stuff in the water before I put the grains in. Okay, so I'm doing about 2 litres. So I want to put in 4 heaped tablespoons of sugar. A pinch of bicarb, about an 1/8 of a teaspoon. And about half a teaspoon of molasses, but I just do this rather than measure it. And I just did that, putting this in first before the grains so I can be rough with it and mix it really well without damaging the grains. Alright, that's mixed enough. So now we just pop the grains in. Pop the cloth back on. That's it, that's your primary ferment done. So I'll pop that one back in the cupboard. So you need to have two big jars. Whatever you're doing your primary fermenting, you need to have 2 of them. So you don't have to wash it straight away. And then the same with your secondary ferment, you need to have double of them or triple depending on how fast you're going through it and storing it in your fridge or not. So now with the secondary ferment, I'm just going to add some fruit to these guys. I'm adding some slices of ginger, quite chunky, I haven't peeled it. Oh, and these new bottles are I better cut them smaller. I got these bottles today from a home brew shop, and they've got a smaller neck on them than the other bottles I was using. The other bottles I got out of the cupboard, you would have seen, had a bigger neck on them. And I'll show you why I've changed bottles. These are the bottles I was using, and they're good because they've got a wide neck for the chunks of fruit to come out and to clean them easy. But they're cheap, and they're painted lids, so the lids go rusty after a while, and they don't seal as well. So that's why I went today looking at the homebrew shop to get something like this that's got a good screw cap. It's going to keep the fizz in and it's not going to go rusty. And if you go to the homebrew shop, they're cheap as well. I got a dozen of these for 50 cents each. I had to wash them and scrub them, but that's okay. You can buy brand new bottles, brand new spirit bottles for $3.50 each. About that at the homebrew shop. So I just put a bit of ginger in each one of those, and then a couple of blueberries. So you can see the real change in colour. You don't have to chop them or anything, you just chuck them in. The bottle that was in the fridge was really nice and purple. And it's nice to have the chunks of fruit because it's just like having a champagne with strawberries. At the end of the bottle you can eat the fruit. And it's not sweet at all because the kefir eats most of it. Okay, and some lemon juice. Let's see if I can do this without spilling it. Alright. So these got a great seal, so these ones should be nice and fizzy. See the bubbles forming already now that I've capped it. Okay, and leave some air in there too when you do it. Don't fill it all the way up or you might end up with exploding bottles or popping lids or something awful happening. So now I just chuck these back in the cupboard. It's staying for 2 days, and a little bit of light gets in here, so I also put cloth over them as well. That's it. Thanks for watching my water kefir video.